Hello, and apologies for not having done a video in a while. I'm going to try and catch up. And apologies to Canada, because I said in my last video about morning flights from North America to Europe that there were no flights from Canada that were morning flights. And that's patently untrue. I just didn't know what they were. I took a Toronto morning flight that had been stopped, and I assumed that was the only one. But there was one place I didn't check, and we're going to start by talking about that. But I found a whole load of other morning flights to cross the Atlantic, so we'll talk about them as well. So starting off with Halifax to London. I didn't think to look in Newfoundland for a morning flight, but yes, you can fly from Halifax to London Heathrow. And it actually leaves quite late. So for a lot of the other airports in eastern Canada, you could probably connect through and go straight to London. Now, crossing back briefly to the US, there's a whole range of flights by Air Maroc, which is Morocco's official airline, that flies from North America to Casablanca. It only appears to be in the summer months though, which isn't entirely helpful. But on this route, it's JFK to Casablanca. And again, this flight leaves quite late. Obviously, you'll need to get a hotel in Casablanca. And I don't know what immigration is like into Morocco. I think you can get a visa on arrival. So similarly to the JFK flight, there's also an equivalent flight from Montreal that actually is an afternoon flight across to Casablanca. So that's an option for Canadians to get to Casablanca. Similar issue, obviously, that you need to stay overnight in Casablanca before connecting to wherever in Europe you're trying to get to. And I'm not sure it's got the best connectivity, Casablanca Airport, but still, it's a way to get across easily, especially if you don't like early mornings, because I think these are the most convenient times. If you don't like getting up early in the morning, then this is not a bad flight for you. And next up we have an obscure option which only runs once a week on Tuesdays from Montreal to Ponta Delgada in the Azores Islands, which is part of Portugal. I thought I'd include it because it's quite a late flight, and I have no idea what the Azores Islands are, but I think they've got some sort of tourist scene. So if you fancy a very different kind of crossing of the Atlantic, maybe have a look at this. Moving north and back to the United States, there are now two options to fly to Reykjavik Airport in Iceland. There's a daily option from Boston Airport, which is quite a good if you were prepared to stay over in Iceland overnight. And there's a twice a week option from JFK to Iceland in the morning. So as you might have noticed from the change of clothes, it's taken me several days to do this video. So I'd ask you, can you subscribe? Because it'll make me feel better about the time I put into making these videos. I've got a big backlog of video for April's trip to the US, where I visited 7 states. So I will be trying to catch up on creating those in the next month or so. And thank you so much for watching this video, and hopefully you've learned some more things about morning flights if you're somebody who struggles to sleep on flights like I do.